One-on-one, bitch, they 10. One-on-one, never again. One-on-one. Don't get the kick in the butter. I count it like hustle the money all in. Rhyme in the town in the drop top coupe in the motor in the trunk, you can hear it. Hearing all about how they want me to lose, but I'm W.
What's going on? What we doing?
This is always so funny to me. First of all, we're back again. Sorry for the delay. Too many lemon drops.
I need to be tired.
No, let's talk about that real quick in a little quick segment. Like, how tired do people really be? Like, this shit ain't easy. Like, so this is something new penciled in. This is like a new baby, right? Like a new baby, like a newborn. Even though we've been doing this shit, right? We started our little show back in 2018.
It was before we left?
2018, 2019. We started it. We had a lot. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know if it's 2017.
Yeah, it was like no. It was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, probably around there.
But
maybe a little later.
We did have a lot of we used to go live.
Yeah, in fact, we used to do live.
And it was actually very interactive. And then we just, life be life in. I probably didn't like him. He probably didn't like me. And then here we were.
But anyway, first of all, thank you guys for tuning back in. You know what I'm saying? For those who tune in. We on YouTube, right? So we want y'all to like and subscribe and things like that. Because
you had to think about what the words were.
Yeah. We want y'all to like and subscribe and share,
and
right? Comment, like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff.
All that jazz.
Tell your homies to tell their homies to tell their homies. You know what I'm saying? Because we like to get responses. We also like topics too, so y'all can throw some topics in there. That's
what y'all want. What y'all want our opinion on? Because Darrell low-key should be a lawyer because he always has an opinion about anything and everything.
But today's episode, we was talking and we wanted to do like a not an introduction, kind of like a reintroduction, but we wanted to talk about like us, how we met, some of the things that we've been through on our journey from meeting to being friends to being a little more than friends to being a couple to being married, right? And I say that because even when I told you I'll be talking to some of my homies, not like my Dom friends, all my Dom niggas, they know they've been around, so they know since how long I've met you. But some other people, they don't know how long I've known you. So to them, and not trying to be funny, it just seems like we just some random couple that like you had children and I met you and then we just. So I want people to understand like our history and you know what I'm saying, how we met, where we came
how you
from.
wanted all of this.
You know what I'm saying? You're a cool. So first let's start with how we met. Do you remember how we met?
Cold winter day in New York. Get the scenery. And you know when it's cold in New York? It's cold in New York. It was it was one of those cold ass days. And there was Club Exit.
Yes,
right?
It was Club Exit, yes.
Because it was like actually when you think about it, like all of I want to say like by the time we met, like the Cherry Lounge, stuff like that was like slowly but surely
it was already
fading out.
We was like 16. So by that time, the key was done already.
The key was done.
Cherry Lounge wasn't really open that long. It sounds like it was legendary because
what about the one on 135th? What was it called? The Kennedy Center.
That's not on. Is that on? Yeah,
that was on 135th across the street from Harlem Hospital.
Yeah, facts.
So Kennedy Center, they used to
throw the parties.
DJ Webb was the DJ.
Webb Star.
Can't say Webb.
No, I just say his name's Webb Star.
I just thought maybe we could just say Webb.
I got you, but I'm just saying. But anyway.
No.
Yeah. So, but all of that shit was kind of fading out, as you see. Either was fading out or it was gone. At that point, I'm almost certain it was 16 because I was living. I remember I moved to Florida, but I had came back. So when I came back is when I met you. So I was around. I was like 16. It was that winter.
Best day of his life.
Cornball. So, so we was at Club Exit. I was with Weez. Shout out to my son Weez. I think it was just me and Weez because me and Weez we do a lot.
It definitely was only you and honestly before we because Darrell has a bad habit of lying every.
No. I'm not gonna lie. No.
He has a tendency to lie. Like I don't know
what it is.
Excuse me. Okay. I don't know if some of you guys know. You may or may not know. Like Darrell is a comedian, right? And everything if you date or know a comedian, you know that everything they have to exaggerate the story to make it funny.
I'm not exaggerating.
He exaggerates this part of the story. He's been saying this story for the last God only knows how many years. But anyway,
we are 37 years old. I met you when I saw 21 years. It's been the same story. I've never changed my story.
You're right.
I've never changed my story because that's what
happened. You exaggerated. And you have changed a couple of words. But anyways.
So what happened? So tell me what happened.
I'm going to tell you my rendition of what happened. It was me and my friend at the time. Her name was Kwanda. And Kwanda spent the night at my house. And we were going to the club. I don't remember how we found out why we was going, but we just knew like it was going to be the it spot that night. So we ended up going to Club Exit. Club Exit was like on 9th or 10th Avenue.
Facts.
And like between 56 or it's either between 56 or 55th and 4th.
I can't remember the street, I know it was on like 9th and 10th. Yeah.
It was like 54th and 53rd and 10th Avenue, 9th or 10th Avenue. I'm almost certain it was 10th. Mm-hmm. So we walk around. Darrell was posted up.
Hold on, tell her how I was posted though. Tell her what you know what I'm saying? Biggie on, hands in the pockets. Don't forget his quote. Biggie on.
Darrell was posted up.
Hold on. Biggie on, hands in pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Biggie stands. Okay, continue.
Darrell was posted up. And honestly, first of all, Darrell has been the same size since I've ever in my life met him.
All right. First of all, hold on. Right? Let's hold that. First of all, I have not been the same size because I'm in the gym. That's number one. So I've gained an immense amount of muscle.
Excuse me.
So I'm in the gym. So in those times, yes, the little frail, skinny rail cash. But go ahead. Continue.
Anyways, he had this. First of all, if you ask him, he's probably going to tell you that his Biggie was a size 3X. Like he might have been wearing a Biggie Smalls coat. Like he might have been wearing his jacket because his coat was huge, and he was mad.
Biggie, you know what I'm saying?
He was mad small, and he's standing up. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. He either had constructions on or beef with Broccoli's, and then he's standing next to Bar, who
his name is Wheeze.
I don't know.
But go ahead.
Whatever. Wheeze. He was standing next to Wheeze, and I walked by Darrell, and I always known as a young girl that light skin is the right skin. So I was like, okay, he's kind of cute. I was like, wow. I said to my friend, I was like, he's cute. Now listen to his version of the story.
So what happened was
here you go.
I'm in Club Exit, you know what I'm saying? Now, first of all, the Club Exit shit had me. I don't know if you remember, but me and Weez went because they said Dipset was going to be there. That's why we went. They said Dipset, Joel Santana, and Jim Jones supposed to be there. But when we got there, it was a Telemundo fucking performance, bro. It was a Spanish thing that came out, so we was tight. So we really wanted to leave.
No disrespect to the Spanish, culture.
Yeah, no, but I don't listen to Spanish music.
I do. I love Bad Bunny.
It's terrible. But anyway, so we get it. We in there. We walking around and shit. And we in there waiting for Dipset. Bro, Dipset never came on. They had a Spanish performance. So we was in there tight. So we really was just standing around. So as we standing around, I'm standing looking smooth. Biggie on, hands in pockets, right?
This is where the lies come in, y'all.
Her homies walked by. And as she walked by, you know what I'm saying? We locked eyes, you know what I'm saying? I felt her looking at me, looking at her, looking at me, right? So as she walked by, she kind of looked back, boom. And when I saw her, I said, "Oh shit!" I tapped we. I'm like, "Oh, she feeling me, boom." So I turned back around again, and she told feel like, "Oh, he could get it." I said, "Come on with it." Come on back, you know what I'm saying? So I said, "Yo, come in." You know what I'm saying? So
every time he says this story, it's bullshit. So I never said that.
So as she's lusting over me, I tell her, "Yo, come in." You know what I'm saying? So we chopped it up, boom, boom. We chopped it up in the spot. I got the number and shit like that. So from my recollection, we talked for a little while in there. But my next time remember seeing you was when I was staying with my aunt and you came to see me.
Okay, that was the second time I was
the second time I saw you.
Right? And if you watch the first episode, this is all happening while he had a girlfriend. But you got to watch the last episode to understand that component.
Excuse me. Because you had a boyfriend too, so stop lying.
Excuse me.
Okay,
I didn't. I had a situationship, which we already clarified.
You had a boyfriend.
But anyways, so he gave me his number, and I called him. And since Darrell has been young, I think if you know him, you already know that he has a deep voice. But since he was young, his voice has been so deep. And I called him, and when he answered the phone, the first thing I said to him was, "Damn, your voice is deep." That's what I said. Because he's so young with this deep-ass fucking Barry White fucking voice. And then we seen each other. Oh, I came. Oh, that was
So that
cute.
was the next time. Come on.
He was trying to flex. He had a different biggie
Come on.
right? A different pair of constructs. And this is how I knew that because as I grew to know him, I knew that this was like, oh, he really wants me. He wants some of this. Put it on the shelf, put it on reserve. He ain't getting it, but he wants some of this. Because he came downstairs, he paid for my cab. Okay.
Yes, I remember that.
Paid for my cab standing, but he was trying to flex though. He was trying to flex, like he had the money. He was like post up, like the nigga was in, like he was in paid in full, like he was in paid in full. He was like counting the money, like he was in paid in full.
That was my life. That's all it was. It ain't no flex. I was like, all right.
At the time, I was in the car with one of my old friends, and she was like. And I was like smacking. I was like, look at him. He looks so good. He looks so good.
Come on.
But I could be honest. He makes up stories.
Yeah, no, that's what happened.
All right. And then after that,
we would see
each other at the parade.
So, yeah, but let's not forget all this. So we would hang out often. Like, let's not forget we would hang out often. Shout out to Weez again, because Weez like my fucking bro. That nigga, Paul, we used to be attached to the hip, bro. I did everything with that nigga. So, I don't know if I know you remember. There was points in time where you would just hit me like, yo, where y'all at? What y'all doing? We would be on the block. And you would come and get us in your little red car. So you were staying with who, your godmother? Who was you staying with?
My godmother.
So she was staying with her godmother who had a little ass red
Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Yeah, it was a little ass Mitsubishi
But here's the thing though. So
and we were still teenagers. We wasn't even in our 20s yet.
So what happened was it was my godbrother's car, and I would take the keys or whatever, and I would go out. And my godbrother, his car like restarted. Like people who have cars, it's always something with your car, right? So the car restarted, and in order for the radio to work, you would have to put in a passcode. And honestly, why didn't we try 1, 2, 3, 4? Because that was
or 0, 1, 2 or 0, 0, 0. Right. It was one of those simple shit.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4. But we had a radio.
Yeah. So basically. She had the car, but the radio didn't work. Because like she said, the car had restarted. So you had to put in a passcode for the radio to work. So instead of us listening to the radio in the car, where did you get the boombox from though? She had a boombox and she set the boombox in the middle of the fucking seat, like in between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And we would listen to music on the boombox while we was driving, bro. She was crazy. One time she came and picked us up. I'm sorry to cut you off. One time she came and picked me and Weez up.
Oh, I think I was going to say the same story.
And she I forgot why first of all, you was driving like a bat out of hell.
I used to drive like
a fucking maniac, bro. And she goes up a one-way the wrong way. So the cars are supposed to come down this way. She goes up the hill the wrong way. Weez in the back screaming, help me. So that was like little shit that we would hang out often. Like those is times that you would come get us. And hang out and shit. Or sometimes you would just come get me like, oh, where you at? And we would ride around together and chill.
So our history too would be, I think one of the things that, one of the things that actually attracted me to him is like, he could hold a conversation. Like he would, like if he doesn't know you, he's still the same way. Like if he doesn't know you like that, he's very quiet. He's like observing. He's like trying to learn you. But once he knows you, he never shuts up. Like he'll keep talking.
Yeah, I'm a talker.
Like to the point that sometimes he be talking to me. And I'm the same way with him. Like, and he'll fall asleep on me or I'll fall asleep on him. But we would talk like literally till the sun came up. And then he'll be like, all right, I ain't gonna lie, I'm going to bed. Like we would be talking for hours about a bunch of any and everything, like life, like vacations, like
and even when
properties,
when we was around each other, when you would come get me or we would hang out, whatever, it was the same thing. And that's something I wanted to talk about too, because I mean, we hung out often and we never did nothing for years, like years since. So at 16,
he wanted to though. Wasn't giving him no booty.
So from 16 to like,
you wanted the booty.
You're a combo. From 16 to like 24, I think we really started getting like into each other at 24. But from that time, for those 7-8 years, we never did nothing. And I spend the night at her. I used to, when you moved into your own crib, I would come spend the night at your crib. But before that, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Let me just say this though. I'm saying always been a player. You know what I'm saying? So what was going on was, you can front and act like it wasn't, but you had a little boyfriend. I had a little girlfriend, right? So we liked each other and shit, but we never did nothing. But even when I ain't gonna lie, when I spent the night at your house, the time where your mother still don't remember this to the day, but she cooked me spaghetti and shit. I remember I went to your crib.
Yeah, and you left out the front door and then climbed through the back
window. I left out the front door, and she texted me like, "Oh, why don't you come spend the night?" I'm like, "Spend the night? I'm gonna spend the night. Your mother's there." She was like, which is crazy to me. She said, "My mother never comes in my room." I'm like, "What?" She like, "Yeah, my mother don't ever come in my room." So
she did it.
So I left the crib and then climbed through the little, because you lived on, what was that, Morris, right? Mm-hmm. Morris Ave? Yo, talk about, wasn't that right across the street from the Necker crib?
Yes.
Yo, crazy. So anyway, yeah, so I climbed through, down the block. Wasn't it next to the
So remember, when you looked outside on Morris Avenue, it was the school. That's
right there.
And then right on the corner was a corner store. But then you walk up the block to the next corner. That's where the Jamaican restaurant, the Spanish restaurant was. And then her building was right there.
Yeah, so your building was before the Jamaican restaurant. I know I was a bucket. So anyway, so I climbed in back in the crib and went through the window, and I spent the night at her house. But
and even then,
I'm not gonna lie, man. I tried to get the drawers. I tried to get the drawers. I did.
Epic fail. Didn't work.
I tried to get the drawers. We had a little spat after that, though.
Oh yeah, and then he had. Then that's when AIM was around.
Yeah, facts.
And all of Darrell's friends, y'all could contest it. That. Attest to it. Excuse me.
I forgot how we got it. We argued or something. We had an argument.
And then I put in my AIM in my away message. I put, I got a Chinese Spider-Man that's
with braces that climbed through my window. I forgot what I had an argument about. Me and I had an argument.
Let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all about this young Darrell. See, I've known Darrell for 20 years.
I was out of control as a young nigga.
I want you to understand this. I've known Darrell for 20 years. That's more than half of my life that I've known this man. He used to be out of control.
I was.
Listen.
I was.
Out of control. He used to be wilding, like talking out his mouth, talking wild. Crazy, like disrespectful.
I was.
And I had to let him know who the fuck was boss.
I'm gonna say this though.
But I'll be fair. He never really did that.
Because I did do that because we was cool. So we just had a little mini. I forgot what it was about, but we had a little.
It wasn't nothing crazy.
It wasn't that crazy. But it was just like, you're a cornball. Leave me alone. And then you went and did the put the away message up. But even in those after that, like I said, we hung out all the time, right? And we would hang out, but then we would have moments of like, and you notice we wouldn't see each other for months. Mm-hmm. And then we would randomly see each other, like you said, we saw each other at the parade one time. Holiday parade. We chopped it up again. Then we saw each other at the car show. I remember that day we saw each other at the car show. So we would have those moments of like, we probably wouldn't speak for a couple months, and then we would speak again, pick back up, and then we would hang out again, and then we would, you know what I'm saying?
And you want to know what's crazy? Now that I'm playing it back in my head all the times, like, you used to be obnoxious. You used to be so obnoxious.
But you as well, though.
No, I was not. I was
not. So I'm gonna tell you.
I was not.
So here's another story.
I was not.
So boom. So one time. Was you with your friends when you came to my block that time when you wrote in the hallways and shit? When you wrote your,
I was like, I never came to see you.
Right, you did. So she came with her friends, and I was with my friends or whatever. So the case, so whatever, kid, right? But to her point, and I don't know what she said. She had a boyfriend too. I had a girlfriend, right?
I had a situation.
So I had a girlfriend. So she came to my block to chill, and which is so wild as us young niggas. Because my girl lived in the building.
Mind you, he's invited, but it's not even wild as a young nigga.
Yeah.
As a woman, well, I wasn't a woman. I was a little girl, right? I was a teenager. I'm going to go see him while he lives with his girl. At the time, he was living with his girlfriend. I'm going to go see him, and then it's like he just was like always a risk taker. Like
she came to see me. She came to see me with her friends and me and my homies. And we was chilling in the building, and my girl, we was actually at my man's shop crib. We was in shop. We wasn't even in the crib. We was in the hallway.
Your girl at the time.
Yeah, my girl at the time. But we was in the hallway actually, Pauline. We was chilling, talking and shit, vibing in the hallway. And then but my girlfriend at the time lived in the building. So she came I forgot for what reason, but we all was friends. Like, so she came downstairs, and it didn't get crazy, but you said something to her. And then she said something to you, so I'm like, y'all pulled you, like, you bugging. That's my girl. Like, we not doing that. So, and you didn't. I ain't gonna lie, to your point. I mean, to your benefit though, you didn't not benefit, but to your personality, you ain't go crazy. You were just like, whatever. This is corny, and then you walked away.
Because I have the personality of like the reality of it is like, let's not be. You make yourself look stupid when you trying to defend what you know isn't right. Like I knew at the time that he had a girlfriend. Like I would look crazy trying to argue with the girlfriend. Right. First of all, I'm over where she live at. I mean, I know he got a girl. So like I've always been like that. Like I'm not about to be looking crazy. So I ain't saying nothing. She was like, and who the fuck is this bitch? And blah, blah, blah. She was crazy.
Yeah. So but after that, so you left, you bounced, and then literally, so I thought nothing of it. Because we didn't really get into an argument. I just told you like, bro, that's my girl. You're not dead ass. And you was like, whatever, Darrell, and you left. So my mind, I'm like, it's over. She's still my homie or whatever. Bro, I go outside the next day and the whole block is like, Darrell, did you see what the girl wrote about you on the wall? I'm like, the wall? What the fuck is y'all niggas talking about? Bro, I goes in the building, bro, where we was at, bro. This cornball right here wrote on the wall, what Darrell, what do you remember? Darrell sucks dick, some weird shit like that. Oh, I hate some weird.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I definitely paired you with a penis.
Yeah, something like that. Like put me like Darrell sucks dick. He likes penis in his ass. Cause she's a cornball. Like she like plays all day, so she does shit like that. Like she's not gonna, for the most part, she's not gonna be like she's aggressive, but her first instinct is to be petty. Like she'll do some like real petty shit. So she wrote on the walls like Darrell likes penis in his ears, some stupid shit like that. So that was one occasion, and then. I told you I was gonna get your ass back. I said I'm gonna get her fucking ass back. So when you came to see me again,
let me tell y'all. Let me tell this story. It's my turn, right? So again, we didn't speak for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden I was like, let me call this loser. And I called him. I'm like, what are you doing? And then he was like, nothing. I'm on the block. I'm like, oh, okay. So let me tell you, I always used to feed him. Like it was like feed the children with him. I used to cook for him or buy him food all the time. So I called him one day and I was like, oh. I'm getting some Jamaican food, or it might have been like, oh, what you doing?
I think it was Spanish, or whatever. It was something.
Jamaican food. I remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was something.
But it was like I was like I either called him or he called me, and I was just like, we was like, oh, chopping up, catching up. He was like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm getting food, and he was like, what kind of food you getting? I'm like, I'm getting Jamaican food. I was like, you want some? He was like, yeah, bring me some Jamaican food. Girls, hold on to your hats. Let me tell you what this motherfucker did to me. So I come over to Mitchell's and I'm like, here's your food. The nigga takes the food, snatches it out my hand, and runs.
But I had to get it back. I had to get it back for that shit on the wall. So, let's fast forward because now that was in our late teens, probably like 18, 19, right? So now let's fast forward to now we growing up, right? We get older.
Let's talk about Zoe when I was pregnant with Zoe.
So we now again it's same thing. Like we don't see each other in months, but we'll run into each other, or somebody will randomly like he'll call you, or I'll call her. Like I ain't speaking to her now, or I'll call her, or she'll call me. So now I'm working. I'm like 19 or something like that. 19, 20. I think I was.
You had to be 20.
I was 20 because
I was 20.
Yeah, you was right. So I was 20. I was working in Old Navy, and she had called me. Right? It's crazy how we remember these little moments. But you had called me and we was talking, and you was like, yo, I'm pregnant. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You're not pregnant. Because we're only 20 years old. So to me, at that point, like, I'm like, damn, you pregnant, bro? We're only 20 years old. She's like, yeah, I'm pregnant, whatever. I'm like, you lying. So I'm at, we was talking or whatever. You like, so what you doing? I'm like, yo, I'm working and shit like that. Because I had went to school. I went away to school. And when I came back, I had a job. So she was like, yo, where you at working? I'm like, I'm at working at Old Navy, whatever. Boom, once I told her. A couple days later, you pull up to my job and you got the stomach, and I'm like, oh shit, you. He was really folding
pregnant. His little jeans like a good
boy. Facts. I was like, oh shit.
The Old Navy that's pregnant. Where Zara is at right now.
Facts. The Zara in Soho
used to be
Old Navy. And I saw you. I'm like, yo, you really pregnant? And you was laughing and shit like, yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm like, you wild. Dude.
He probably immediately got on his phone and texted his friends and told him, yo, you know that bitch Jasmine's pregnant, right?
I did. Probably Weez. I probably told Weez, like, you know Jasmine's pregnant? I know I told Weez. So she ended up having Zoe. But again, same thing. We would not lose contact. We wouldn't see each other for a little minute, but we would still be cool or whatever, still hang out. So now, after you have Zoe, we reconnected again, like started hanging out again. I don't know if you remember this, because we started going to Westchester. Yeah, so we both went to Westchester Community. Shout out to Roddy, my son Roddy, because Roddy is who told me about Westchester Community. When I came back, I went away to prep school. I came back from prep school, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm in the hood and shit. I'm not really doing that with my life. So I'm talking to Roddy, and Roddy like, what's going on with basketball in the school and shit? I'm like, bro, I ain't doing it. It's so he's like, yo, bro, I'm telling you, bro, it's a little school up in Westchester. that niggas is going to. You can get a little education, probably play bowl again or whatever. So dead ass. Me and Roddy had this conversation.
That's because Roddy is a Taurus, and Taurus are very resourceful people.
But Roddy is really smart though. He's really smart though. So he told me. So I'm like, word. So I looked into it and then I spoke to you. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to this school in Westchester called Westchester Community. And you was like, all right, cool. And then you ended up going.
You know why I'm laughing?
Well, laughing.
Because, I used to love, I always wanted to go away to college, but then it's just like I was scared to, and then I never did. But then when I went to WCC, because of the campus, it's like you're kind of like,
nah, that shit was fire. I'm not gonna lie to you, that shit was fire, bro.
So I laughed because one day was you and Polo.
Yeah, Polo, shout out to Polo. Me and Polo went to Westchester Community too.
One time it was you and Polo, and I was like on campus, and I was like, I had texted you like, where you at? You was like, I'm in the cafeteria. I was like, all right, I'll be there in like a few minutes. But it was a little longer than a few minutes, so I'm walking through and I have my Westchester hoodie on.
Polo says something stupid right here. I'm thinking Polo's stupid.
And then I walked up and you said, "Oh, it's just jazz, man."
No, no. You was walking through. We thought it was a joint. We thought it was a joint. Word to everything. You had the little. We felt like it was like some love and backwards. You was walking through with the collar sweatshirt. We like, yo, who that walking through? Nigga, Polo, yo, I ain't gonna lie. Who was that? As soon as I said, it's just jazz, man. They like, you corny. We thought it was a joint walking through. Fact, yeah, nigga, Polo's stupid. So yeah, we started hanging out again because we started going to Westchester Community again, or Westchester Community College. So we was tied to hip again.
We literally at this point became like
like real friends.
Best friends.
That's when we was really like we was started being friends.
Close friends. I didn't even look at him in any type of way.
You lying, but it's cool. You lying? No, you did. You did, but we just fell into the friendship. That's all that happened.
Sweetheart,
but you was still feeling me.
I'm
gonna tell you why.
Sweetheart, I had my own set of niggas.
I'm gonna tell you why. Sweetheart. I know. I remember this. You remember? You know what I'm talking about. So boom. Again, we friends. So we hanging out. We hanging out all the time. We going to school together, bro. She picking me up to go to school. I'm picking her up to go whatever. So one day we in the whip because she got a stepmother that she used to be like real close. Well, she's still close with her a little bit, but they was closer then. She used to have her car. So one day me and you was in a whip and we was riding around. I forgot where we was going, but we was in the car. You was like, so, like, how do you feel about,
I can tell you, we was actually leaving campus.
Yeah, so I forgot where we was going, but you was asking me like, well, how would you feel about dating, a girl with children? So, I mean, I know you was throwing the bait out there to see what a young nigga was going to say.
He's assuming because he doesn't
But at that point, I was adamant. I did not date. A lot of my friends at that point, I'm like, I don't date girls with kids. Because I had seen some of my homies date girls with kids, and it just wasn't something. I'm like, nah, it'd be too much drama. Niggas we used to have issues with niggas, with niggas that's with the baby fathers of the girls that some of my friends was dealing with. So it's like, bro, this is too much. I'm not dealing with that shit. So at that point, I didn't want it, but I knew what you was doing. I knew what you was doing.
Have you guys noticed he's delusional?
No, I knew what you was doing.
Episode, he's delusional. And then after that, okay, then we stopped speaking again. But I don't even know why we stopped speaking. I'm gonna tell you why we stopped speaking. Why did we stop speaking? So you was in a relationship, right? It's not a situation. You was in a relationship. You was in a relationship. So the gentleman that she was dealing with, they was at odds all the time. And like I said, me and you was close. So one day
we would
he had
talk.
my phone.
So I'll never forget this day, and more days that I don't forget. I'm with Roddy. I'm with Briss and my man Nate. We in Nate crib. I don't think you ever met Nate. But we in Nate crib. We playing games, video games and shit. So I get a phone call on my phone, but it's your number. So I pick up, I'm like, yo, what's good? And you like, the gentleman that you dealing with is on the phone, but he's acting like he's his friend. He like, yo, this is such and such friend. So I'm like, what? What happened? Why you calling my phone? He like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I be seeing you on campus and all that with Jasmine, you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know right now, when niggas see you, you know what I'm saying? It's on. He talking crazy. So I'm on the phone. Now, I know son, who the nigga used to deal with, because he's from Harlem. So I've been around him in certain spaces. So I get the phone call, but it's your number. And so I pick up my, yo, what's good? So the person on the phone it's the person you're dealing with, but he's acting like it's one of his friends. So he like, yo, I be seeing you on campus in Westchester, you know what I'm saying? You lucky I ain't went down to you, but when I see you, you know what I'm saying, it's on or whatever. So I'm like, yo, bro, what are you talking about? Like, who is this? He like, this is such and such man. So I'm like, yo, listen, I care. I'm like, yo, listen.
I think I remember that day.
So I'm like, yo, bro, listen, if you know me, then you know who I be with, you know who I hang out with, bro. I'm telling you right now, I know you. I know where you be at. I know everything about you, bro. This is not the time to kind of, I said, I know everything about your man, because he's still acting like it's his friend. I'm like, bro, I know everything about your man. So If that's what you want to do, if y'all want to take it that route, we could take it that route. But my friends is ruthless. The nigga goes, nah, this is such and such. So I'm like, bro, why you calling my phone? He like, nah, I just went through Jasmine's phone. I see y'all texting and all of that. I said, bro, I don't want your girl, bro. That's my friend, bro. Like, why you calling my phone?
You was sad?
I wasn't sad. He was a combo. So I'm like, why you calling my phone? So then he tell me like, Jasmine got locked up. I got her phone, so I'm going through her phone. I'm like, so you calling
bitches' asses.
Yes, I'm like, so you calling everybody in her phone? This is gay. He like, nah, you know what I'm saying? But I just want you to stay away from her. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, we're gonna get married. I'm like, oh, bro, I don't want your girl, bro. Like, you's a cornball, bro. So after that, I was kind of hot at you because I'm like, bro, how you let this nigga get your phone? You got this thing calling my phone.
No, but don't forget, he also told you I was pregnant.
He wasn't who told me you was pregnant. The girl told me that she was pregnant. So so fast forward, we got through that and we was talking again. And no, I'm lying. Yeah, so I was a little mad at you, but we were still talking. So I was dealing with this girl who lived on his block. And she, which was mad random, called me one day and she was like, just being messy, like, oh, Jasmine is your best friend, right? I'm like, yeah. So she like, oh, you know she pregnant, right? I'm like, what, pregnant? Why would she be pregnant? I'm lost. Because you had told me like you wasn't really feeling me, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I called you. I'm like, yo, bro, you pregnant? And you were like, nah, I'm not pregnant. I'm like, bro, so why this girl telling me that you pregnant again? And you was like, no, I'm not pregnant. I wasn't heartbroken, but I'm like, bro, that's like what you lying for? So when I
knew it was gonna break your heart.
Yeah, so when I found that out, then I was like, I ain't dealing with you mad because I'm like, then she told me like, oh yeah, they supposed to get married. You know what I mean? She was telling me everything. So then we didn't speak. I don't know if you remember, we didn't speak for months, like probably years. We didn't speak for years.
It was like probably
a year or two, yeah,
maybe 2 years. And
because I didn't speak to your whole pregnancy, and then I didn't speak to you again until the twins was already born. It was like 8-9 months.
It was
like 9 months. They was like 9 months.
Oh, excuse me. So then I had my god sister Dornasia. Shout out to Dorney. She's my first best friend. I had my god sister Dornasia reach out to Darrell.
Oh, let me tell that story because I was hot. So boom, I'm on a book. So I gets the DM from a little schnooky. So I'm like, oh, who the little snuggie? So she like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? So we going back and forth for like a few minutes. I'm like, oh, what's good? So she like, oh shit, what's your number? I gives her the number. I'm like, oh, I got me a little snuggie. I got me one in the pocket. So I'm like, yo, when you gonna text? She's like, I'm gonna text you like in like a few minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. I get a phone call. No, I get a text and it's like, hey, is this Darrell? I'm like, yeah, this Darrell. So I'm like, who this? She's like, oh, you just gave me your number. I'm like, all right, I'm like, yo, call me. Bro, the fucking the girl calls me. This fucking combo's on the phone. You trying to talk to her? You think you slick? You trying to talk to her? I'm like, who is this? She's like, you know who this is? I'm like, bro, who is this? This is Jasmine. I'm like, bro, what do you want, bro? Why you harassing me, bro? And then not very funny. Then we picked up, I'm like, it was good with you. Like, where you been at? She's like, oh, I had twins. You know what I'm saying?
And then that's when he realized that he wanted me. He wanted something.
We really, even then.
Honestly, to be totally honest, we honestly was just really true.
Even then, though, we were still.
We used to.
But it was brewing though. At that point, once we got back, it was brewing. Oh, you're combo.
Why don't you be honest?
Was it brewing? For both of us, it was already.
No, you can't speak for me. You don't know my feelings.
I do.
You can't speak for me.
I'm a player. I know the feelings.
Yeah.
Anyway.
On camera.
So it was already. It was already.
Like, why you can't just be honest? Like, This is the that's another episode about men who do not know how to be vulnerable. Why don't you just be honest and tell me how you was feeling?
I knew that you wanted me. No funny shit. I knew it. I knew you wanted me.
Okay.
After a certain point, like once we started hanging out again.
Why you don't stop?
I knew it.
You said the feelings were brewing. So what feelings of yours were
brewing? Because when I glance over at you googly eyed at me. You know what I'm saying? Like we in a car ride, I'm looking at you just staring at my soul. I'm like, oh, she wanted. There's no other reason why she's staring at me like this. She wanted.
He's fucking delusional.
And then that's when we started really getting close. Like we hanging out more. But even though we ain't really doing that.
Let me tell y'all a little segment.
Oh yeah.
I used to shout out to Jazz, Big Money Juicy over here. I was always renting cars, I have this type of lifestyle in my head. I'll tell you about that on another episode. But anywho, I have rented a car, nothing crazy, like a little Toyota Corolla. I used to rent cars randomly for like no reason. And I
did though.
But it was just the thought of like, oh, I could do this shit. So I used to rent cars, and one time I had rented a car, and this is the time. At this point, we were, body on me.
Yeah, we was already in the groove. Yeah, in fact,
we was already grooving, and skating and whatnot. And then we had like we were not together. We were just friends. But then he used to hit me with the, "Nah, I don't want you to talk to nobody else. I want you to all for myself." Blah blah blah.
I don't remember that.
Nigga was lying and scheming and plotting and cheating, and we wasn't even together. Okay, and you know he I'm laughing because I feel like getting a knife. No, I'm joking. But and then one time we had an argument. This was with Club 11.
Yeah, Club 11. Yeah.
And like it was like a little argument. And he was like, "I don't want to talk to you this what." So of course I know all of Darrell's friends. I've known as long as I've known Darrell, I've known all his friends. So I know I was standing in front of Club Exit talking to his friends, and I was talking to Smack and
Free Smack
and two other people I was talking to, and he gonna drive up as he's looking for parking. And he rolls down the window as he's looking for parking, but he's so thirsty, right? Because he sees me and he's like, "Oh, look at my girl." So he rolls down the window. "Guys, don't talk to her. Don't talk to her, guys. Don't talk to her," like that. And I'm just like, what? So then I had a rental. Then, of course, he came home with me. Duh. Like, doesn't that make sense? I really want to tell y'all what happened in the club.
No, we gotta say that for another episode.
We really gotta tell you what happened.
We gotta say that for another episode.
We gotta say it for another episode. Very, very juicy. Yeah. As Darrell's friend Trizzy, you know, he always references it. But anyways, and then we picked up from then, and like I had a rental. Darrell got super, 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 super drunk. And this nigga was confessing his love to me, telling me how much he loves me. Oh yeah, I remember. Because you went to park the car.
I remember that. I just don't remember. I don't remember what I said.
He was confessing his love to me. "I fucking love you. Yeah. You don't know that I love you." This is what I'm saying. Like he's been playing games. Like stop it. Like you want me, all of me. You were cool. And then the next day he wakes up like nothing ever happened. So Darrell is a fucking Capricorn, and Capricorns they have this wall up all the time. They have this "you're never gonna know." And I used to say to myself, like, does this nigga even like me? And then that was the day I found out my answer. There is a God. And then what happened? What else happened?
Honestly, after that, we just was rocking and rolling. We've
rolling.
Been together ever since. Honestly,
ever since. How long have we been together?
So technically,
we don't even know when we started dating.
Right. So I just go off of before Zahari was born. I go off the year before. So Zahari's 11. So
you can't. It's not before Zahari was born though. It's like a year and a half.
A year and a half before Zahari was born.
So that we've been.
I know we went when we went 12, to Vegas.
13 years.
What birthday was that when we went to Vegas?
So we went to Vegas in 2012.
But what was that for me? My 25th birthday, right?
25th birthday.
No, 2012. No, that can't be because I'm born in 08. That's an even number.
You born in 08?
I mean 88. That's an even number. So that was 24, I think.
No, yeah, okay. It was your 24th birthday.
2012. Yeah, that's
what year did I say that was? 25th?
24th. So my 24th birthday.
So it was your 24th because you had Zahari at 26.
Yeah, Zahari, yeah. So I would say, about 2 years before Zahari was born.
So how long is that we've been dating?
Probably like 13 years.
Damn. Yeah. I've been loving on you for 13 years.
Known each other 16, we 37. So we've been friends for 21 years.
Wow.
We're friends for 21 years.
This year makes 21 years.
This year makes
I just know whenever that party was, it was like November, or it wasn't December. It was like November or maybe the beginning of December. It wasn't October.
I think it was more December, January. So I might have been 15. We might have been 15. Or to your point, maybe it was 16 going on 17. It might have been 16 going on 17.
I think it was 16 and I think it was November. And I'm going to tell you why, because I always reference like there was 3 people I met that year.
Yeah.
So it was that one, and then you.
Yeah.
So
it might have been I was 16 in like that November, December time, and then I was turning 17. Yeah. It was probably that. Because then it had to be because then that next year I went away to school. And I went away. No. Yeah.
Oh, did y'all ever know that this nigga was a huge pothead?
Yeah, shout out to my son Ad.
He used to, because when he was going to school in Texas, I used to talk to him all the time. There's times where he don't remember. He used to send me very inappropriate pictures.
So that was when I went away to school. So that was when I went away to school, oh my God, let me tell you the story first of all. This is hilarious, bro. So boom, I go away to school. Shout out to my man Ab, John, and BCB, and all my other niggas that I went to school with. But I'm still cool with them. Like I speak to them and shit. I got niggas on social media, so I shout out to them niggas. But so Ab and BC is super potheads. So when I get to school, Ab and BC, them niggas is like they smoking a pound of weed a day, bro. It's like ridiculous, right? So they start getting me like high and shit. I'm smoking. We all smoking. John, we all smoking or whatever, right? So boom. Our team was pretty decent. Good. We had a sponsor. So the sponsor put me and John in a crib. In this fucking, I don't know John. I know John remember this though, but he put me and John in the crib in a fucking townhouse. I honestly, so me and John in the townhouse. So like she said, I used to speak to her all the time. So I'm talking to her all the time. One day I get a phone call. And it's her mother. So her mother is frantic on the phone. Darrell, have you spoken to Jasmine? Have you seen Jasmine?
We're ending this after this.
So I'm like,
so trifling.
No, so I'm like,
you're
huh?
Trifling.
She's like, have you spoken to Jasmine? Have you seen Jasmine? I'm like, well, I don't see Jasmine. I'm all the way in Texas. Like, I'm in school. But I just spoke to her like yesterday. I had spoke to you recently, like days before.
You probably spoke to me the day.
Yeah, I'm like, I just spoke to her. She's like, oh my God, she's missing. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, she's missing. Mind you, we're like 18. We're like 18, 19. So I'm like, she's missing.
The fact that, when did we decide I was telling this story?
No. Anyway, so look, I'm like, she's missing. So I'm like, what? So I'm
my business.
So I'm like, what? So I called her. She's not answering the phone. She's not answering the phone. So I'm like, so I ain't gonna lie. Now I'm panicking. I'm like, damn, she's missing. Like, what the fuck is going on? So boom, I wake up the next day. I'm like, let me call her. I had practice or whatever. I leave practice. We go back to the crib. Let me call this fun girl. I calls her. She picks up. I'm like, yo, bro, what's up with you, bro? She's like, what? I'm like, bro, your mother's calling my phone talking about you missing. She was like, oh, I was just annoyed. I'm like, so what do you mean you was annoyed? What happened? She was like, oh, I was under the bed. I said, what? She said, yeah, the whole time I was under the bed. She said my mom came in with the police and they were flashing their flashlight in the closet. They never thought to look under the bed. I said, bro.
Okay, but no. So here's the thing. Backtrack. I wasn't when the listen to how shitty NYPD is. This makes me wonder, do they really do their jobs when they supposed to be doing their job? So my mother had me so pissed that day. I pretended like, hey, you know what's so fucked up? Damn, man, I'm a mother. This might come back to me. It was her birthday. I bought her a cake. I was like, happy birthday. I'm leaving. And you'll never see me again. I was so mad. I was so pissed at her. Like, it was a pretty cake, too.
You're a fucking cold
I set it up.
Bro.
Oh, you know me. I've been event planning since I can remember. I set it up with balloons and a cake, and I had the cake box open. God. And it was around the time, like, I knew Mama was going to come home. So I set it up, and I lit the candle, and the wax was just dripping. And then I hid in the closet, right? In my closet. And I threw a bunch of stuff on me. But I was so busy peeking that by the time the cops came, I didn't realize that they was coming, and I was like rushing to throw stuff on me. The nigga flashed the fucking flashlight right in my face. like you could see the color of my fucking pupil if you wanted to. Right in my face. And then after they left, I ran back under the bed again. And I went to sleep. And I don't even know how I was like, hey, I'm home. I think I just
calm, bro.
Don't piss me off because I will make you suffer.
Moral of the story is she's a cornball. As you can see, all these stories.
Moral of the story is that I'm a cornball that he's infatuated with. So So if I'm a cornball and he married me, what does that make him?
Somebody had to help you. Somebody had to help you, bro. Nobody was gonna help you, bro.
Fuck
I'm here to help,
you.
bro. I'm here to help.
I'm so sick of you. I've been dealing with your ass for 20-something years. You know what my father-in-law says? His father? Jasmine, you do such a good job with Darrell. Because if I don't do it, who the fuck else was going to do it? Listen, if he was still with his ex, she would have been gone. They would have been hated each other sooner than they probably already did. Because he's crazy. He is a psychopath.
I'm regular.
No, you're not. But that was just a little glimpse into us, and he was so thirsty to do an intro, you gotta tell people our story. You gotta tell people.
I'll be talking to Chat GPT. Shout out to Chat GPT.
Tell people
it's good. I like
my
Chat GPT.
Best friend.
So I was asking them what good topics are, and they said, I've told them my whole spiel hey, we had a podcast, we just started back up, and then Chat GPT suggested that we do a short little introduction, tell them about ourselves and things like that. So I just wanted to do this introduction, but we're going to have more episodes, and y'all can comment and like and subscribe and share and let us know some topics that y'all want us to talk about or that y'all interested in talking about.
I can't believe that. Truthfully, even with the pause, like, do you count how many years you've technically been doing this, even if you pause? Do you count? Like, if you were in a relationship, no. But like, let's hypothetically say you're in a relationship, right? There's a relationship with your
people
show.
Say off and on. So
we've been off and on with this since 2018.
But we're gonna again. That's why we gotta make sure we record so we can be consistent and keep dropping these episodes. So thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Again, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You know what I'm saying?
It be over.
We'll see y'all next episode.
It be over.